Hello ladies and gentlemen, Santa's Workshop here. As you can see in the background behind me, I got a mess. I got to clean up shop. Oh, but there's so much I got to get done. But I've been busting tail end this week trying to get the brakes finished up on the Corvette. We got them on, we got brakes, everything's good with that. Got the motor and transmission pulled. You're going to see that in today's video. And I've also got a direction I'm going on the El Camino motor, and I'm going to show you a little bit about that here in just after a while. But we're going to get on that Corvette. But guys, if you see a link on your deal saying that congratulations, you've won, call this number, don't do it. Somebody got on there and just plastered my deal. I haven't put out a video this week just because I was wanting to make sure that I got all that taken care of. I am computer illiterate, so it takes me a little bit to do stuff, but that person has been blocked. It won't be coming from that account no more. So I will be announcing the winner for the Odelphi this coming Tuesday. So this coming out on Sunday. So that'll be Monday, Tuesday. So Tuesday morning, you will have a video with the winner of the Odelphi, and you will contact me by email, and we will get your address and everything that way so I can get it to you. That being said, let's get busy. What I'm doing here in this time lapse is I am covering the seats with heavy-duty trash bags so I can move the El Caballero out to the barn for a few days while I get Mr. Jim's frame painted. That way I can all I have to worry about is covering the Corvette and some things in the shop, and I'm not going to be getting overspray on everything. But it gives me more room to put the frame out and be able to move around it. I've got a little product to show you today. It was sent to me by TopDon. It is a little jump pack that it is the neatest little thing. I've used it a couple of times, but of course, every time I used it, I didn't have my microphone and stuff to where I could shoot a video. So, putting the seats in the Caballero, I ran the battery down. So, we're going to hook this up, and I want to show you how easy this thing is to do. So, let me get you set up here. Alrighty, our TopDon charger comes with a USB plug-in. It goes in right there. And right here, you've got USB plugs where you can actually charge up a phone or something. And to jump start a car, you just plug this in right here. You don't even have to turn it on. But it's also got get it to come on. There you go. It's also got a work light. Shines up the area very nice. Flashing light, of course, for roadside. Have a DC outlet, or DC out, so you could power something there. 12 to 15 volt. So let's get this thing hooked up. Put it in. You see the little power light on right there. And it's got an indicator light that tells you if you got it on right or wrong. We got 100% charge on the deal, and it says we're right. So to start it, push boost, and you hear a click in there. That's the relay clicking on. And let's see if the Caballero is going to come to life. Well, you can't get any better start than that. And for those people who was telling me the Caballero don't run no more, right. But that's about how simple it is. And as I said, I've used it 4 times now, and we're just now down to 75% on that. So to turn it off, you unplug it, unhook your batteries, and the timer will take it off, turn it off on its own. And that's it. It's simple. The only other thing you got is your little USB charging cord, and I've got it at the house. And I want to go charge this up for the next time I need it. But there you have it. TopDon, thank you so much. Everybody, it's a very nice charger. Get you one. Link will be down below and up on top. Thank y'all. Let's get to it. All right, everybody. As you saw, Brian got that drilled out and we retapped it. I got to looking into the options of getting a new bracket, and you can get a new bracket, but you have to take that trailing arm completely apart. And you know, for $5, we put a new bolt in it. It's solid. It is not going to give no problems. So that's the route I went. I don't know if you can hear it in the background or not, but Brian is starting to hone out my 350 for the El Caballero. We got our master cylinder on, hooked up. I've got fluid in it. There's no drips coming from it. So I am going to attempt to get these brakes bled. And to do that, I went to our local Harbor Freight and I bought this thing right here. It's their higher end bleeder kit. It's got a reservoir that you can put on top of the master cylinder and fill it or keep it full as you're bleeding out the back. It's air operated. I've never used one before, but hey, I'm still learning. So we're going to put that, get to work with that. Blech. Can't even talk this morning. But I went ahead and got that because we're going to be doing Jim's frame, which that's going to be moved out here in the middle of the floor and painted before the end of this week. Fingers crossed. And Brian is over here working on the El Caballero 350. Getting some cylinders honed out. And we got that on the works. All right, let's get busy bleeding some brakes. In this time lapse, we're just going to do a real quick first wheel and last wheel. You do one, you do them all. You get that so you can get the idea of the procedure of using one of these bleeders. Now, sucking the fluid from the master cylinder all the way through the empty lines to the back, this thing was golden. I loved it. But we did go ahead and do the pump up relief pressure the old-fashioned way to get every bit of the air out. But it saved a lot of time and a lot of sore leg doing it this way. Alrighty, as you can see, we have the motor and tranny out of the Corvette. So, next week we're supposed to have a really nice warm day, close to 70. I'm going to back the Corvette out. We're going to put it on jack stands. I'm going to take the wheels off, and I am going to lay on the ground beside it and get totally soaked. Yeah, I'll put that on film so y'all can watch me. But I'm going to get all that cleaned up in there. There's a lot of stuff that I'm going to have to do. So this isn't going to be quite as quick as I had hoped. There's a lot of stuff that's better than I thought. There's a lot of stuff that's worse than I thought. So that will be a story right there. Good thing, engine, it ran beautifully. All I want to do is wash it, paint it, put some different tappet covers on it, probably a different breather. I've got a new plug wires, new plugs, new rotor, new cap. All that's going to get replaced. Water pump. Look at that pulley on the front of that thing. That hadn't been replaced too long ago. Fuel pump. Pretty much the same way. Nasty as can be on top. Pretty new looking on the bottom. Then we get to the distributor cap. That looks like that hadn't been touched in a while. Old yellow XL wires. We're going to put new pretty red ones on there to match the car. Yeah, this thing's going to look nice when it's done. Alrighty, I did have a subscriber ask me the difference between a 2-bolt and a 4-bolt main. Now there are people, you know, these engines quit being made back in, oh gosh, what, 95? Or no, they still made the 4-bolt. Up until the LS come out, which was back, you know, early 2000s, so 20 years ago. If you haven't torn an engine down, you wouldn't know the difference. So, 2-bolt main. These right here are your main caps. You see there's 2 bolts. That's a 2-bolt main. Now then, this is the same block as a 4-bolt main. All they did was machine it a little bit more. And we're going to take you right over here and show you a 4-bolt. Get this camera down here. This here is a 4-bolt main. You see how much wider, how much more meat is on that end cap. That is a 4-bolt, and it's even got a little shoulder coming out here. You can put a whole lot more torque on that engine, and those bearings will not spin. So that is the reason between a 2 and a 4-bolt. This right here is your front cap. It does not take as much torque as the rest. There's your timing, where your timing chain goes is right there. So that right there is going to be one beast of a motor. We got our parts from the El Camino laying here. The transmission, I'm going to use it probably as a river weight because there's no good. These are the heads off of, let's see. This is the head off of my my El Camino. This is a head off of a 350. Let me turn the light on here real quick. Okay, I'm going to give y'all a little bit of a lesson that I learned this week. I mean, I have not really been into rebuilding engines, but my cousin Brian has. But it has been a very long time ago. Now then, this right here is a 350 cubic inch head. This head right here is off of a 305. As you can tell, they look pretty much identical. But you can use a head off of a 305 onto a 350 because they are more closed chamber, which means you have more compression inside the cylinder head than you do on a 350. You can kind of see the recesses right in here, how those valves kind of stick up, and they don't right here. That little bit adds so much more compression. But there's a problem. If you use a 305 head on a 350, here's a 350 head gasket. And you can see how close that looks right there. See right there's the edge of the head, there's the head gasket. Okay? You put it on the 305, look how wide that is right there. Well, when you put a 305 on a 350, what happens is you get a detonation in that gap right there. And that will cause this head gasket to blow out, which is exactly what was happening right here. This, I think the other head that this is what this gasket come off of, was right here in the center, and because of that little space there, it was causing gas to get up in there and detonate, and it was putting pressure on this head gasket. And that is how you blow a head gasket. What you do is you take your grinder and you grind these sides off till they get down to about this thickness. And you just need a bevel. You just need to open that up to where that detonation doesn't get trapped in there and cause a concussion chamber. So that's something we learned this last week. A couple other things we learned this week. I found a machine shop that could turn my crank and had the bearings. I was able to get the whole set for $250, which, finding out that through O'Reilly's, AutoZone, Advanced, Napa, there's none available. You can't find them. So that means that those are getting very rare and very hard to come by. But we have found a machine shop that can work with us. D&J Engines out of Lexington, Oklahoma. Give them a call. That being said, they told us that when we tore down the 350, we realized that there was a cam lobe that had been rounded. That cam lobe being rounded, they looked at it and they said that was because they did not season the camshaft. They did not break it in properly. But you have to have a zinc additive with a ZDDP. I mean, there's several different people who make it, but that right there, they did not use that when they broke it and put in that cam. So the engine, just didn't last. And of course, you know, the pieces of metal from that cam went down into the pan, went right up into the oil pump, right to the bearings, which ground them up. So pretty much everything that could go wrong with this engine did. But we're going to build it back and we're going to do it right. And I'm going to take you along on the journey and let you see what all needs to be done. So as of now, I have got the crank. I have got a new oil pump. We're going to hone out the block. The cylinders are still fine. Pistons are good. I got new piston rings. We're going to put those on. I'm looking at getting a set of aluminum heads to put on it. Now I have the 305 heads that came off of it. So they're, you know, closed chamber. They are a 53 cc chamber. The aluminum heads are actually a 64, but they're a bigger valve. And we're looking at getting roller rockers for it, which will add 15 to 20 horsepower, just taking the friction out of the rocker, pushing down the valve. So, and the man said, go to eBay, get a cheap set, they'll work great. So I'm just like, okay. So as soon as I get the money for that, I'm going to be doing that. So we've got a direction going on the Elco motor. It's going to be a nice little thumper. And I can't wait to get it done and get it in that car so we can hear it. So I guess that's going to be it with this video. Guys, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. And as I said, if you see anything fishy in my comments, let me know. Thank y'all for taking care of me. We'll see you next time in Santa's Workshop.